Clark Atlanta University is a special place. Its history is rich and full of events that cultivated and changed the lives of people of color. Its history is rooted in a tradition of faith that sustained freed people of color as they found their way and made a way for others to follow. CAU was birthed in 1988 from its parent institutions, Atlanta University, the nation's first graduate institution to award degrees to African Americans and the first to award bachelor degrees to African Americans in the South, and to Clark College, the nation's first four-year liberal arts college to serve African American students. These outstanding institutions were learning grounds for notable African Americans to include author, writer, scholar, activist, and educator W.E.B. Du Bois, and poet, lawyer, and songwriter James Weldon Johnson, the author of Lift Every Voice and Sing, what is known today as the Negro National Anthem. The consolidation of both Atlanta University and Clark College birthed Clark Atlanta University. Here is where you enter, learn, grow, develop, and depart ready to serve as global agents of change. CAU is known for its dedication to societal social change, as its students were a part of the Atlanta student movement in the 1960s and continue that legacy through involvement in efforts to end social and racial injustice through the Black Lives Matter movement. At CAU, students arrive eager to learn media, business, politics, social work, cancer research, and music, taking their liberal arts education to the next level and transforming themselves into outstanding alumni, such as Kenya Barris, writer and producer of Blackish, Jackie Reed, a nationally recognized journalist, Shaka Zulu, head of artist and talent relations with Spotify, Valicia Butterfield-Jones, Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer at the According Academy, Brandon Thompson, Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion for NASCAR, and United States Congressman Henry Hank Johnson. Welcome to Clark Atlanta University, where you discover who you are and who you plan to be.
Dear Clark Atlanta University, from the moment I first stepped on your campus, I knew I was walking into something greater than myself. But what I didn't know was just how much you would shape me, call me to lead, to serve, and to rise. For 4 years, you gave me more than an education. You gave me a purpose. You taught me that leadership isn't about titles, it's about service. It's about lifting as we climb, reaching back even as we reach forward. You reminded me daily that the world doesn't end at James P. Brawley Drive, that our call to service is bigger than campus life, that our impact belongs to communities across this city, this nation, and this world. You showed me the power of unity, the strength in speaking truth, the beauty in building, not just for today, but for the generations to come. You pushed me to ask more of myself and to expect more for others. Because of you, I learned how to lead with love, how to fight with vision, and how to serve with purpose. Clark Atlanta, I am forever grateful for the village, the legacy, and the calling to be exceptional on purpose. Thank you, CAU. This isn't goodbye. It's a promise to carry your lessons wherever I go.
As part of today's Black History Always game, students from Clark Atlanta University's mass media program had an opportunity to participate in pregame activities, exposing them to careers in sports broadcasting. We had a wonderful visit with a lot of them. Rodney Vaughn, Paul Irvin, our producers, AB, our director, a chance to give them insights into a wonderful visit.
As I took my first steps on the promenade, I was a young woman with big dreams, unsure of just how far I could go. But Clark Atlanta, you didn't just welcome me, you cultivated me. Today I walk in confidence as a power force in sports journalism. Every walk across that promenade taught me to hold my head up high, to command every space I enter, whether it's the sidelines of the NBA, an NFL locker room, or a press conference where I stand toe-to-toe with the best. Those casual moments in the cafe connected me with my peers, sharpened my ability to connect, to walk into any room, approach any athlete, and build a bond rooted in trust, respect, and just being authentic. Inside the classrooms in CMW, my professors didn't just teach me theory. They pushed me, they challenged me, and they forced me to be a critical thinker and a master storyteller. I learned that sports journalism is far from just giving you stats and who won the NBA finals or scores a touchdown. It's about capturing moments. It's about telling athletes stories and giving them a voice and holding space for moments that matter. I've become someone athletes can count on, depend on, and I am a Panther who makes a difference, not just on the page or on the screens or the sidelines, but in their lives and in this industry. Clark Atlanta University, you planted a fire in me. You sparked that fuel that has my passion and my drive and my desire to make a difference. You gave me a platform in the heart of Atlanta, in the city of the mighty Georgia Peach. You gave me a mission and I turned that into a mastery. You believed in me, my family. You guys believed in me. And because of that, I'll walk out of these gates, not just as a graduate, but as a force. Clark Atlanta University, I challenge you all to be unapologetic and find a way or make one. I challenge you to figure out plan A because there isn't no plan B. As you continue to make your mark in this world, always remember that the ball is in your court.
Every time you enter a building at Clark Atlanta University, do you reflect on the personhood of its namesake? As an American educator, renowned economist, in an elite small group of Black economists during that time period, as well as a human rights activist, are action words that describe Dr. Henderson. He was the 18th president of Clark College. He served in the leadership role from 1965 to 1976. He passed while in office. Remembering Dr. Henderson's service to Clark College is the lesson for this day. And the Clark College class of 1975, on their special day of commencement, did not know that they would hold the heartfelt honor of being the last class to receive their conferred degrees from their beloved president.
The most impressive encounter in my life that I had with Dr. Henderson was at the president's reception for the graduates, their parents, alumni, and friends. And it was held at the president's home on May 18th, which was the day before our formal graduation ceremonies. Dr. Henderson commended me on the many fellowships that I had received for graduate studies after Clark. I was excited, but a bit apprehensive about my decision to go to MIT. Dr. Henderson's words of assurance to me were, "You're more than prepared to embark on the many opportunities before you. The hard part is getting in. There's nothing that will keep you from getting out but you." Dr. Henderson's words of wisdom embodies CAU's current motto, "I will find a way or make one." His encouragement has served me well in all of my personal and professional achievements over the past 50 years. CAU, under Dr. Henderson's leadership, was the foundation that launched me and prepared me for the opportunities that I did receive. I will be indebted to CAU for my entire life.
In 1973, we competed on the regional level for Alpha Phi chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. We won. We participated on the state level. We won. And we were given an invitation to participate on the national level. We won as well. We returned back to campus about a week later, and we were given a call from Dr. Henderson's office to congratulate us on winning the National Chapter of the Year for Alpha Phi Alpha. In 1975, we repeated the process. We won the regional, we won the state, we were given an invitation again to participate on the national level, and we won again. We returned back to campus. Dr. Henderson gave us a call to congratulate us for winning the National Chapter of the Year for Alpha Phi Alpha.
President Henderson did a lot for the university. President Henderson was very dedicated, forthright, and didn't beat around the bush. For me, he seemed to want the best for the track team. I became captain my junior and senior year in college and wanted everybody to do the best they could do. The one thing that inspired me, he knew all of the players by their last name.
My first encounter with an outstanding president, Dr. Vivian Henderson, was my freshman year. I had arrived late that year due to the fact that my father had been in an accident and I came late. The orientation I missed, but as I hurried to get to registration, my father and mother were with me. Going down the hallway, I ran into Dr. Henderson. What a wonderful surprise it was. I introduced my parents to him and they conversed back and forth. My father was rushing to make sure that I had all the monies or whatever I needed. And Dr. Henderson stopped him and said, "Hey, let's get this young lady acclimated into the school. Let's get her registered. We'll worry about that later. She is the priority of getting her settled and not worrying about money. Money will come later. And I thanked him for that. So my experiences with him was very warm and compassionate. He was such a marvelous person, and a person who was almost like a father figure to us, but also a disciplinarian to say, hey, look at it this way, look at it that way. What do you want for your best outcome to be? And so therefore, I just give honor to him for taking the time to guide me and lead me the proper way I would be to be the successful person that I became.
Hey, so great to give honor to Dr. Vivian Henderson, Clark, Atlanta University president. We've been asked to think back and take on some personal notes. I had the honor of being in his presence in the office, in his office there in Babbage Auditorium. And Doc was always a guy that you could talk to. I always admired him being an economist and president. I thank God for that memorable moment.
Now you know the mystery of the name of the Vivian Wilson Henderson Health and Physical Education Center. His legacy has been immortalized by his beloved students who hold the banner of alumni celebrating their golden anniversary. Thank you, President Henderson, for adding to the heritage of Clark College. Thank you, Clark College class of 1975, for your gift in sharing such precious memories with Clark Atlanta University.
Clark Atlanta University, I am Sergeant Jalen Harris. I want to start off by saying thank you to the university for allowing me to always be able to grow as a soldier and a person at the university. And my professors for always being understanding while I might have been on a mission throughout the years, and here I am now at Kuwait before graduation on deployment. Clark Atlanta is like no other. Clark Atlanta influenced me to always find a way to make one inside the military and personally. So for that, I say thank you to the illustrious Clark Atlanta University.
Okay, so we have arrived to another big weekend full of football. Georgia versus Ole Miss. Georgia Tech hosts Miami, and then the Falcons take on the rival Saints on Sunday.
And speaking of rivalries, Clark Atlanta is hosting Morehouse for a game with plenty on the line on Saturday. Let's bring in our Reggie Chapman here with how they kicked off a wild weekend in the AU Center. And it's really cool because these schools are literally right next to each other.
Right next to each other, and it has been a party all weekend long. It's really been an unreal turnaround for Clark Atlanta. The program had just 8 wins the previous 5 seasons combined. First-year head coach Teddy Keaton told me before the season they were going to turn the school into a winner. Now they're 6-2-1, and if they beat Morehouse on Saturday and Albany State beats Fort Valley, they'll be playing in the conference title game next weekend. To add to the excitement this weekend, ESPN's debate show First Take did their show from the Clark Atlanta Quad this morning. The show featured regular host Stephen A. Smith, HBCU product Shannon Sharp, and local Westlake product Cam Newton. Big Boy and T.I. also made an appearance in front of the students, faculty, and alumni in the AUC. I caught up with Coach Keaton after his appearance on the show to talk about the moment.
What a great experience. Like I said, for the SIAC Division II, the whole 9 for Clark, Morehouse, and Spelman, what a bigger stage to be on. This show has only stopped at all the FCS places, and for them to be here, that's crazy. That means we're on the map. I think this is the greatest choice I could have ever made in my life, is coming to the CAU and doing the things and being able to be amongst these. You know, look at this beautiful campus here. These guys are really involved, and everybody was excited. And to be on a national stage again at a D2 level is major in any aspect you want to look at it at.
Boy, it was so much fun being out there, and I could tell it was exciting for the students. And I talked to some of the alumni who were so proud of this moment. They talked about how things have come a long way since they were calling it their campus, and they called it a different day. What a scene ahead of the big game. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Like you said,
super cool.
Big exposure, big opportunity for both schools, the AUC in general. Awesome.
National
stage.
Yeah, and you could tell it was just a huge moment. It was incredibly well done, and to have all the Atlanta people there.
Because I was watching it live this morning at the gym. I was like, wait a second, they're at Morehouse?
Right down the street. It was awesome. It really cool. Both bands were there. Spellman was. It was awesome stuff. I'm glad ESPN did it.
That's it for the food. Really? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Great question. All right, next we have Ellie Gay, Clark Atlanta. Ellie, how are you? Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, the Lions are 7-1, making them the best team in the conference. My question to you, Stephen A, is who are you taking in the NFC? The Lions or the field?
Lions. I just think that right now they don't have a weakness. And one weakness we thought they would have was Hutchinson going down for the season. And who are you going to get to attack the passer? And they went and got Zadarius Smith. And so you got dual running backs. You got 2 wide receivers. You got Laporte at the tight end spot. You got a guy in Jared Goff who, to me, should be the leading candidate for the MVP honors the way that he's been playing over this 6-game stretch. We're seeing historical numbers. His completion percentage, his passer rating, eclipsed anybody in NFL history during the 6-game winning streak.
Yes.
He's been playing on that level. I would take the Lions instead of the field.
I agree. Offensive line is outstanding. All up and down that line, you got Decker at left tackle, you got Sewell, you got Glasnow, you got Zeitler. As you mentioned, all those weapons at the skill position. Defensively, they bring in Zadarius Smith-Z. Yeah. Now they can still continue to attack the passer. I love what they've done. Aaron Glenn is doing an unbelievable job with that defense. Yes. I'm taking the Lions versus the field, and I don't normally do that because you give me one and everybody else gets the entire field. But what I've seen this year and the way they're playing, I like the Lions. They're unbelievable.
I want to agree,
but you can't.
But it's one thing that you know is going to happen in the NFL. Battling hurt versus injury.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The Lions, they've dealt with injury with a player, but can they stay healthy? That's the name of the game, especially going down the stretch. It's about who can get the continuity. They've been teaming since about week 2,
right.
You see, and can they stay healthy? That's my biggest question.
The other thing is I don't like anybody's chances having to go into Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit with what that franchise and that city has suffered with because of that franchise for so long. Last year when they won a playoff game, it's the first time they did it since 1957.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at that and then you can imagine you on the cusp, you on the precipice, and you got to go into Detroit and deal with all of that, I think that's a lot for anybody in the NFC to overcome this year.
Dear Clark Atlanta University, I'm penning this love letter as I reflect on when we first met. It was about 15 years ago. As an HBCU advocate, I was excited to work at CAU, having graduated from the Albany State University. After working in corporate America, I arrived on CAU's campus as a staff member ready to work and build my career in higher education. My unwavering optimism and being led by God opened the door for me to begin the Educational Leadership Program in doctoral studies 4 years ago. Taking the first step was the hardest, but thanks to my village, a strong support system, Dr. Turner, the Dean of the School of Education, my dissertation committee chair, Dr. to the Rescue, my committee, School of Education faculty and staff, I did not give up or end. The support I received from my colleagues and supervisor, Vice President Dr. Sharice Peters, was the fuel I needed to excel. I now humbly serve as the Assistant Vice President of Graduate Recruitment and Admissions, and my goal is to provide the same sense of community for graduate students to be successful. Thank you, Clark Atlanta University, for providing a space for me to grow and develop both academically and professionally.
Welcome to Clark Atlanta University, a place where rich tradition meets cutting-edge innovation. Nestled in the heart of Atlanta, CAU is a vibrant hub of learning, creativity, and a celebrated culture for service. As fall semester begins, a wave of excitement sweeps across campus. The air buzzes with energy as students move into their dorms, emerge into campus life, starting with welcome events. Here, students from diverse backgrounds come together to forge lifelong friendships and create unforgettable memories. Engaging lectures and thought-provoking discussions ignite students' scholastic curiosity, while passionate professors guide them along their academic discoveries. Every day is an opportunity to learn, grow, and challenge oneself.
Miss Clark Atlanta University.
At CAU, there's something for everyone. With over 100 student organizations, each student can find their passion and make meaningful impact. Whether through leadership roles, community service projects, or special interest clubs, students engage in activities that reflect their values and aspirations. During spring semester, the campus buzzes with renewed energy. Founders Week is a time of reflection and celebration, honoring those who laid the groundwork for this great institution. The year culminates in a moment of triumph and achievement with the commencement ceremony.
And sociologists, and anthropologists, and ethnomusicologists, and paleontologists. Here they come, y'all, here they come.
And so I'll never forget going on a campus tour of Black colleges when I was in high school, and I went on Clark Atlanta University's campus, and immediately I knew that I felt like I was at home. And so that's where it all began on CAU's campus. And it sparked just a fire in me to think bigger, to dream higher, and I was just surrounded by so many motivated people. The best advice I would give to the students is just to, whatever your goal is today, it's not big enough. You've got to think bigger, dream higher, and really believe that anything is possible.
Thank you for being part of the Clark Atlanta University family. Together we are building a brighter future, one scholar at a time. Join us in the journey where every student proclaims, "I'll find a way or I'll make one." Thank you.
Dear Clark Atlanta University, where do I begin? You are more than a campus. You are my launch pad, my mirror, my home. I walked onto your grounds 4 years ago as a hopeful freshman, full of questions and quiet dreams. What I didn't know then was that you would grow me into a woman who not only found her voice, but used it to speak up, stand tall, and serve others. CAU, you taught me how to lead. From orientation guide to mentor, to vice president, to President of the Student Government Association. Each title was just a vessel. What mattered most were the students I met, the stories I held, the hands I lifted when they needed strength. In serving others, I discovered the truest parts of myself. You gave me opportunities to grow, not just as a student, but as a human being. You placed me in rooms where I had to listen closely, speak carefully, and carry the weight of other students' needs with care. And through that, you taught me the kind of leadership that isn't loud. It's loving, it's consistent, it's rooted in service. I want to especially thank the Office of Student Leadership and Engagement for believing in my capacity to lead, to serve, and to show up fully. You gave me space to grow and sometimes stumble, knowing I'd always rise stronger. And to the School of Education, thank you for not only preparing me to teach, but for modeling what it means to teach with heart. You shaped the educator I'm becoming. And then there were the moments in between, the sidewalk conversations, the tearful office drop-ins, the pep talks at 2 a.m., the joy of watching someone finally get it. These memories are stitched into my heart like fabric in a quilt. I didn't just study here. I lived here. I healed here. I became here. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated welcomed me as a sister. Professors saw me beyond my GPA, classmates became lifelong friends, and through it all, I was constantly reminded, I will find a way or make one. Now, as I prepare to step into my own classroom, I carry you with me. I carry every lesson, every late night, every laugh, every challenge. Because of you, I know how to lead with grace, love boldly, and serve deeply. To the class of 2025, what a journey it's been. We arrived masked up, but we found our rhythm. We built community, created legacy, and carried each other through every high and low. I've never seen a group lead with more grace, resilience, and heart. Thank you for allowing me to walk with you and grow beside you. We did this together, and wherever we go, we'll carry the spirit of CAU with us, with pride, with purpose, and with power. Clark Atlanta University, thank you for choosing me as much as I chose you. I'll forever be your student. With love always, Victoria Smiley, your 36th Undergraduate Student Government Association President.
Welcome to CAU-TV, Atlanta's Comcast Channel 23, reaching over 900,000 cable subscribers within the city limits of Atlanta. As the premier broadcast training center for mass media arts students from Clark Atlanta University, Spelman College, and Morehouse College, CAU-TV equips future media professionals with hands-on experience in video production. Students that have trained here have gone on to successful broadcasting careers throughout the U.S. and the world.
CAU-TV has taught me things that I probably would not be able to learn in my classroom. It's taught me how to use a lot of practical skills and a lot of soft skills that I need to work in production, and not only in production. It's taught me how to be a better writer. It's taught me how to be a better editor. It's taught me how to be a better leader. And CAU-TV can open endless doors for you if media production is what you want to do.
When I came to Clark Atlanta in the fall of 2022, I was introduced to a world of opportunities and a world of connections. Through that, I've done several, or pretty much every production here on campus. If not as a camera operator, then as a technical director. If not as a technical director, then a director. I am now an intern with ESPN at Georgia Tech. There, I'm working on being a full-time technical director with ESPN. I've done several TV, in-studio, PA positions, and the list goes on.
CAU-TV really helped me get my foot in the door when it came to media, because I knew media was my passion coming to Clark, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and it helped me narrow down the few things that I did want to do and what I want to make a career out of. So therefore, I was able to be on many productions as an editor, as a camera operator, audio, anything, you name it. It's really, really important that we have these kinds of things at Clark Atlanta University, and CAU-TV is really one of the best organizations and one of the best programs for students here. I can say that after I graduated from Clark, I granted myself a job at MLB Network working as a video editor, and hopefully one day I'll be on TV reporting for them. But I get that kind of confidence and I gain that kind of skill from being here and working with CAU-TV.
I work with CAU-TV as a student volunteer, and I have learned how to do a
plethora of things such as operating a camera, wrapping cable, operating audio, and so much more. All these basic skills have prepared me and propelled me into the entertainment industry as a professional. I have worked on award shows, I've worked on game shows, and currently I work with NBA TV and Warner Brothers because of all the skills that I've learned from CAU-TV. I also use the skills I've learned to propel myself into the film industry. I do my own short films, documentaries, and TV shows, and it's all just a nurturing environment to learn what you need to be a media professional, and that's why I love CAU-TV.
Here at CAU, I'm able to create and better my craft, especially in the mass media building. I work closely with CAU-TV, where I'm able to produce projects and help my peers also produce their projects as well.
Are you interested in a career in broadcast production? Join CAU-TV, where you'll explore every facet of the industry, from camera operation and sound design to editing and live broadcasts. You'll gain hands-on experience with the tools and techniques that bring media to life. Whether you're passionate about working behind the scenes or stepping in front of the camera, CAU-TV's immersive environment equips you with the skills and confidence for a successful career in broadcast.
Hey y'all, I'm Austin Euler, and today I'll be receiving my master's degree in computer science. So, what's my love letter to CAU? Well, for one, I love this school so much I got 2 degrees. I stayed partly for the degree and partly to finish off my years of eligibility with the football team to try to change the narrative, which wasn't the most bright at the time. Now, I can proudly say that I not only finally beat Morehouse as a CAU Panther, but also was a part of a historical 40-year turnaround season for the team. That helped kickstart my professional career, where I was just up in Canada during training camp for the CFL. And I can go on and on about my experiences here at Clark, but the best thing I love is what it means to be a part of the CAU family. I kind of cheated because my mother, grandparents, and great-grandparents all went here. So I grew up in the ecosystem and already had high praise. Shoot, my middle school math teacher was even a CAU alumni and went to school with my mother. But what really solidified my want to be a part of this family goes back to my first year during new student orientation, where I met the first Mr. Clark Atlanta University and future frat brother to Jordan Carter. All he did was have the male freshmen recite affirmations about what our purpose would be here at Clark. But that moment guided me through my whole matriculation. You know, the first thing you find out here at CAU is how many things you can be a part of. Whatever you want to do, if you reach your hand out, someone will reach back and grab it. And that to me is what the CAU family is all about, and why it will always have a special place in my heart.